Hey, what's up everybody? Joshua Casper back at you with Plugin Boutique for another 2-Minute Tuesday. In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use the Blackhole reverb plugin from Eventide to get a spring reverb style effect. Obviously, Blackhole is not a spring reverb emulation of any kind, but you can get very realistic and just really satisfying results doing a couple of quick tweaks to the parameters here. I am going to be using the Max for Live LFO, which allows me to map this ribbon down here to an LFO just to keep it modulating by itself. Any LFO that will allow that will work for this tutorial. It's not completely necessary, it just adds a little bit of extra motion just to keep things a little bit more pleasant and realistic. So let's go ahead and jump into it. And at the end of this video, I'm going to go ahead and play some of the presets so you can get a good idea of what Blackhole is capable of. Trust me, it does not disappoint. So let's go ahead and jump into the tutorial, throw 2 minutes on the clock, and let's get started. All right, so this is the sound we're going to be using for the tutorial. It's just a quick one shot. Blackhole is now on the channel on its default settings. Really nice, long, lush reverb. So the first thing we want to do is pull down the dry wet mix. I do want to point out that the middle of the road here, 51, is off-centered, so just keep that in mind. I'm going to pull the size down very far, and this is where it's kind of the magic happens. If I pull it down to around 3 as a starting point, you can already kind of hear the tinny reverb start to happen. Next, on the low, I'm going to bring it down to -100, boost up the high end a little bit. Even more tinny, great. And down here in the modulation section, I'm going to turn the feedback up pretty high. And we've already got what kind of sounds like a spring reverb. Great. Now, what I like to do is add a little bit of modulation to the macro ribbon down here. And what I map to that macro ribbon is the mod depth and the gravity. A cool thing about the gravity is it can actually go into negative values, which kind of brings in this reverse whooshy style reverb. All right, so what I'm gonna do is take the mod depth, something like this, and all I'm doing is grabbing this little dot right here and pulling to the left or the right. And that's setting the modulation range. And then as I move the ribbon down here, it will move that parameter. And this is a macro, so we can send as many of these different parameters to that at the same time. So what I want to do is actually do the same thing to the gravity here. And the goal here is to have these move in opposite directions. And that's what's happening. As the gravity is decreasing, the mod depth is increasing. So something like this is pretty good. Another thing is I never want to go into the negative value for this particular effect on the gravity. All right, so that really sounds like a spring reverb. So now let's add that LFO. So I'm going to come into packs, type in LFO, so in Max for Live Essentials, audio effects. And what I want to do is map to the ribbon. So to see those controls, just click right here. Let's move this out of the way. Ribbon controls right there, hit map. Boom. Now, obviously, this is too fast and it's not going over the entire range. So I'm going to click that at the offset just to make sure it's going over the entire range and bring the rate way down to something slow. I just want a little bit of movement added to this ribbon. And it's on a re-trigger, so it's always going to start over here and swing down to the bottom, and that's perfect. And that's pretty much it. We've got a great sounding LFO. Now, to make the spring sound shorter, we just got to bring down the size here. So it sounds like a shorter spring there. And then if we go up to something like 4, it sounds bigger. And we're almost starting to lose the spring reverbiness. I know that's not a word, but around 4 and above. I think 3 and 2 are probably going to give you the best results here. And we can further tweak out the modulation range for these to further sculpt how the reverb sounds itself. To bring down the mod rate. And I highly suggest coming in and mapping other parameters to that macro, and they're all going to be modulated by the LFO. Just to change things up and get some interesting results. And that's it. That's how quick and easy it is to get a spring style reverb effect using Blackhole. Now let's check out a few of the presets. I'm going to jump into the preset manager and check out some Richard Devine ones because I already know they're really phenomenal. I'm just going to go ahead and delete the LFO too, just so we don't have that movement. So that sounds like a reverb delay. That's super tinny. So that's just a few of the many presets that come in just a small showcase of what's possible with Blackhole. It's a great sounding reverb that definitely deserves a home inside of your toolbox. It's available now on Plugin Boutique. I'm going to leave a link to it as always in the video description. I'm Joshua Casper here. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next video.